often say that social media blew up too lightly, but last night it really was the case. This, as South Africans finally got to watch Beyonce's new visual album. It's entitled Black is King, the film featuring renowned artists and designers from all over Africa, including several of South Africa's finest. One of those, musician Moonchild Sanelly, is among them, joining us now via Zoom to talk about this new adventure. It's the only way to describe it. Hello to you, Moonchild. So I want to ask, you hear about a new album, a visual album, including Beyonce, and she wants you on it. What was your reaction?
It wasn't even like that. So Beyonce had come here for Global Citizen, right? And we all played there. I got to one of the launch parties. I got to meet her whole team, the dancers, the management, everyone. And it was one of those private ones. And I got to meet her eyes. His name is Kwesi. And he was introduced to me, and then from then onwards, we literally were like glue. So I didn't necessarily know what the project was for. I didn't even know I was working on a project, actually, to begin. Because from the moment Beyonce used my song as her summary of the African tour, which was Iwo Kepara, I was super excited, and he didn't tell me because he became my friend at this point. And when I met him at Coachella, I think last year, so when I saw him at Coachella, this is something that had been ongoing from like that December. So when I met him at Coachella, he came to me and he bumped into me there because they were doing their own work for Beyonce. She was launching a brand range. And so he found me and he just told me that we're working on an African project. And then I kept quiet. Everyone that was with me at Coachella, including Diplo, I kept quiet. And then the second time I was at Diplo's house in LA, and the team called to say, we know Moonchild is in LA, you guys must make music. So it was like, I knew my involvement with regards to, I knew who it was for, but I didn't know what it was for. So when they asked me to keep sending music and melodies and all that jazz, especially the gom stuff, I kept just sending, because I knew this is Beyonce and this is my ultimate artist in the world. So whatever it was for, whatever, I had no clue. So when I found out was literally a time when I was in London, and the final song I did backing for was My Power. So I was so involved in the album and doing ad-libs for different songs. Some made it, some didn't. I didn't know where I was going to be featured, but all I knew was I'm giving it my all because I know it's for my musical king.
And when Beyonce wants something, you get it done as quickly as you can. It's getting rave reviews for celebrating black culture. We all know about Black Lives Movement. We're all very aware of how important this is and how influential she is. How do you think this is celebrating black culture?
She's celebrating black culture in a time where black people have to be reminded that they're magic and they're enough, and they should just capitalize because everything is possible. So having someone in that magnitude where they could just literally focus on the things that make them the most money, they focus on something they are, which makes them the least money, but the consciousness is so much more rich. And her including the people and not doing it like South Africans, doing it with South Africans, doing it with Nigerians, is like her celebrating us, because Africa has been the future, Africa is the future. And if anyone didn't know this, that the world is literally your oyster, especially with social media. We know that you've got access, you just look and you knock on doors. And this is at an important time where someone in her magnitude who can actually be a president at this point, if Kanye is running, she might as well just take it, because she's at a mental space where she can handle these things and she stands for something, you know. So having someone who sacrifices themselves because of who they are, to celebrate who they are in a space where they actually make enough money when they don't have to even highlight as a black person who's already fought the adversities and are in that position, it's the most amazing. And it's sad for the people that find the negative with regards to saying, oh, this country wasn't. Look, the thing about it is Beyonce is not Mother Teresa. Beyonce could do what she could do. She's still human, and the countries that are celebrated. But we should be looking at it as Africa, as the whole entire Africa, that we were celebrated. It can't be every single thing, A, B to Z. She could find the things that played a role to make this thing heard loud and be proud.
And so it's got an amazing connection.
Coming from a queen.
It's got amazing connection, Moonchild, as well. It's being touted as this reimagining of the Lion King movie as well. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go home and watch it hopefully tonight. Just tell me why. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't seen it. I'm going to watch it. How does it reimagine the story of the Lion King? Briefly, if you can. What's the hook there?
The hook is, it's literally about your power, coming of age, and also reminding black men of how to be kings. How being kings and following suit is like your ancestors' biggest dream. So it's like it's a very important thing. It's a very important thing that Beyonce is doing, because we're in a space where a lot of men don't even know when they're violating and doing all those things. But in America, it's another story. Not because rapists don't exist and all that jazz, but being black is you're already killed for it. So I think it's a thing where men also need to go back and look at themselves as kings. And a king is not threatened by a queen, but works with the queen. That's why it's a yin-yang, king, queen, princess, prince. And so I hope it makes boys go back and go reevaluate. Actually, even it's a beautiful thing that there's even classes on how, do you know how many times people are surprised about, say, being called sexual harassment? They don't even know that action was an action of, like, you know, that wasn't a harassment. So it's like, it's beautiful. And I think for men, mostly black men, they need to just go back and listen to it deeply. And actually, I always say that everyone needs a verbal diary, like a psychologist, because there's always something that no one else can understand. There's always something that you need someone who has no clue who the hell you are, and just can help you see better, right? Excuse my language. But so I think it's just time for our black men to just go back and just look at how they can change the narrative. How can they change and teach boys to wash dishes and not expect women to do that? Where there's no gender based on a role, and it's just you being a beautiful person, and that comes with whatever it is that's needed in a partnership if you are in one. And as an own entity, just knowing how to respect women around you.
Moonchild, congratulations as well. Don't worry, we'll use the bleeper button. Hopefully no one picked it up. Thank you so much for the time today. Moonchild Sanelly, musician, joining us here on ENCA. She's part of Beyonce's new visual album, Black is King. It has landed in South Africa. Make sure you go and watch it. You can see the energy coming out of her. Imagine Moonchild when she's actually part of that new visual album.